What's up, guys? For today's show, I wanted to give my take on Black Adam. Before we get into it, I understand this movie is not perfect. However, compared to the other DC movies in recent years, at least this one knew what it wanted, it just didn't execute it the greatest. The writing and chemistry fell off at times for sure. However, I was surprised. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much, not being rated R and all. But for the most part, I liked all the characters minus Cyclone, or Cyclops, the lady that controlled the wind. You know, Atom Smasher was cool. Don't really get the hate for his character. He reminded me of a PG-13 Deadpool mixed with Ant-Man, obviously. Dr. Fate wasn't terrible, but with DC's character names and not setting up Dr. Fate at all, he just comes off as a B-movie Doctor Strange, kind of mimicking everything Doctor Strange has already done in his movies he's been in. I think they could have done more with his character, you know, instead of this Atom Smasher Wind Lady love bit they were trying to do, which was very cringy. Hawkman, he was fine. I thought he was pretty funny actually, but that could have just been his helmet. The negatives in this movie is the sub-characters. The kid and his mom trying to stop Intergang, which is one of the lamest names for a terrorist organization, in my opinion. Intergang. It's Intergang. Intergang is here. You know, that just did not gel well with me. I don't know. But they just put too much focus on the mom and the kid. The entire movie didn't need to include them. I feel like watching them rise their people up and all was fine. I get it. But for a bunch of randos killing the demons of hell, it definitely took a cheesy turn in that aspect. The strongest point in this movie was obviously Black Adam, but without ever really focusing on the character, you know, he just kept going back and forth with if he was a hero, etc. It just felt dragged out to me. You know, I think Hawkman's fight and kind of, you know, squibble squabbles with Black Adam should have just been one long sequence, not this back and forth he was doing with Black Adam. Like, it was just getting tedious at that point. Like, just end you cannot defeat him. It's just, it's getting to be a little stupid, a little comedic, you know, like they were trying to force the comedy, but I just, at a point, I just, let's just skip this. Come on. The CGI villain also has been getting a lot of hate. You know, it was a little cheesy, but you know, I personally didn't have any issues with it. I thought the CGI looked pretty good for the most part. The audio was a little iffy, but you know, the way that they tried to explain how the villain came about being obviously felt a little rushed. You know, the build up to it was just didn't make much sense at all, and it just felt like it had, you know, they developed some plot armor just for that part for no reason. I don't know what they were trying, you know. And a side note, the audio on the kid, the teenage Middle Eastern kid, it seemed artificial, and I've been hearing from a lot of other reviews that his voice didn't always match up. So I don't know what the hell that was about, but it did seem like he was talking faster than the kid was. It just felt a little off at times, you know. But yeah, it did seem like, you know, it was going in one direction half of the movie, and then it just kind of didn't know what to do with the last half. So they kind of, everything just slowed way down, and it just, I don't know. I feel like they could have made this an hour and 45 minutes, to be honest. It didn't even need to be 2 hours because there wasn't a lot going on in the grand scheme of things. But personally, this is a solid 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10. You know, with the post-credit scene, you're only going to get, you know, half a point bump from me, you know, even if it was cool as hell. And I'll admit it got me hyped. You know, it was definitely the most exciting part of the movie, you know. But yeah, 7.5 out of 10, that's about it. It's not terrible, you know, it's watchable, it's entertaining, but then the last half just kind of gets convoluted and a little messy when it comes to writing. But overall, the movie it's watchable. I don't think I'd see it multiple times, but you know, I wasn't upset. I was a little disappointed that they, you know, the way they made out Black Adam to be, and kind of like this hero. They should have just kind of cut to the chase, you know, get him to be this anti-hero. That's what he is. If you're not going to make him a villain, just rush into the anti-hero. That's what I expected, to be honest. I didn't expect them to, is he a hero this entire fucking movie? Like, no, he's not. He's not a hero. We know this. Everybody knows this. We don't need to think about this the entire movie, you know. So that felt a little bad there. But I mean, other than that, some good action sequences. I know somebody said that the Paint It Black song from the Rolling Stones felt a little off, the way they, I think, slowed it down. But I didn't even notice. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even notice, and I love the Rolling Stones. I'm not no classic rock hater. I love the classic rock hits, but I didn't even notice. I was absorbed into the fucking action because it looked pretty killer. I think they could have did a little bit better with the effects, but overall, it's not a bad movie. I would go check it out, if maybe not in XD. XD is a little expensive, you know, if you're trying to cut some money. This is a decent time to do it. This movie isn't phenomenal, but it's a decent time, you know. Alright guys, now on to the spoilers discussion. So starting off in the movie, we get this rushed origin story for Black Adam that honestly has an unnecessary twist later in the movie. I don't understand why they did it. It just took up time that you really didn't need, and you really didn't have. You didn't have all this time to put all this stupid shit in. But you know, we then continue on to this, you know, young Middle Eastern teenager working with his mom against Intergang terrorists, which, again, like I said, Intergang is totally, that's just cheesy. That doesn't even sound right. Intergang, you know? They unleash Black Adam in probably the most forced way, with the mom being brought right to the stone tablet with the instructions right in front of her, you know? They show a lot of action in the beginning, but I don't know why. This is kind of like some beef I have with DC. I don't know why. I hate how their superheroes are incredibly fast. Like, it looks cheesy, you know? Just take your time. You don't need to be like half a second, like, not everybody is the Flash, you know? It's already proven the Flash is faster than Superman, I believe, so not everybody's the Flash. It just, I don't know. It looked kind of stupid to me. But, you know, this is probably the most hilarious part, is when Black Adam is hovering over to people like it's Aqua Team Hunger Force. I just got that in my head too, because it looked out of place, and I was like, it's like Aqua Team, how they just like, the animation just slides from one area to the other. It looked really cheesy. It made me, you know, chuckle, but I don't think it was meant to. But he's like going from person to person, fucking everybody up. The action is really fast, you know, but it sticks at sometimes, it doesn't at others, you know. He continues to destroy more tanks and trucks, etc. We get that slow-mo Rolling Stone scene, not bad. We find out he has a weakness to this cosmic energy, but we never get anything from that besides the comedic effect of the rock falling out of the sky, I guess. That was odd, you know. There was definitely some character development that could have led to something later in the movie, and nothing happened of it, so that didn't make sense. Eventually the movie revolves around the Justice Society, aka the C Squad, since the Justice League is in shambles at the moment. We honestly should have had an entire Hawkman and Dr. Fate movie, even possibly an Atom Smasher movie with the Fonz passing the suit on, like kind of like a build-up. Obviously, there's a lot of similarities to the MCU, with Atom Smasher having an old mentor handing down a suit that doesn't shrink, it just grows, I guess. We have Hawkman kind of taking Batman/Iron Man's place with the massive headquarters and futuristic tech. You could even say he was a lame Falcon. I mean, physically, and you know, the actor, he's a lame Falcon, but he does actually have more resources than the Falcon, so it's sort of like a mix of the Falcon and Batman combined, you know. Dr. Fate, like I said, should have had his own movie before this. I mean, if you're gonna kill off the man in his debut movie, how are we expected to feel remorse for someone that's inherently a ripoff at this point, with no character development? It felt like a waste of Pierceman Brosnan. I can't pronounce his fucking name at this time of recording, but Pierce Brosnan. Cyclone was probably the weakest of the bunch, with her powers not only looking cringy, but her power in general just wasn't used much, you know, and her dialogue was cringe at the time. For example, the love arc with Atom Smasher, it didn't flow right. There was a lack of chemistry there. You know, honestly, when I was watching in the theater, I was thinking, what happened to the quirky jokes, you know, pointed at your crush in movies? Like, you know how you kind of insult people and that's, you know, how you figure if someone's into you. That's, you know, this giving compliments and small talk just wasn't it, you know. At least the way they wrote it, it just wasn't, it didn't flow. I would have much rather she made fun of Adam Smasher about eating all the time, or something along those lines, you know, something, you know, not nothing super mean, but just, you know, little tags at each other, you know, like you control the wind, like the wind, like something, you know. But this little small talk banter back and forth, and Adam Smasher trying to make like these small pickup lines that don't go anywhere because literally no one's paying attention to that. Not even the wind bitch, you know. So that, I don't know, eventually, you know, the fighting stops and Black Adam concedes his powers, which honestly, for one, Black Adam would never do that, but you know, it didn't also have to happen. They could have cut this and used the team more against the demons. Instead, we get a bunch of townfolk with pipes and wooden planks killing the demon monsters. They could have used the entire team and, you know, got more screen time for everybody, even the wind bitch, you know. It would be like if at the end of Avengers, instead of the battle montage that we get a bunch of New Yorkers fucking up the Chitauri. It just would look out of place, which this did in the end. So I don't know, it just came off really cheesy, really. And I get why people are comparing it to 90s superhero movies, because it is a little cheesy. It's definitely cheese on some degree near on the second half of the movie. So I don't know. The villain, of course, had iffy CGI, but you know, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. Overall, the movie's first half wasn't perfect, but I was enjoying where they were going. But some creative decisions were just off. You know, like Black Adam should have confidently been regarded as at least an anti-hero if you're not going to make him a villain. He shouldn't have been imprisoned halfway through the movie. The entire team should have fought together against the Hell Demons, giving the heroes a little more screen time. And honestly, the sequences with the kid and his mom could have been cut down to the freeing of Black Adam, a little bit of the kid talking to him, and that's it. You know, maybe an end scene of the kid being hopeful for his city, instead of this, you know, rip-off T2 parody where he's kind of like explaining the entire world and society to Black Adam, which I think he would have caught on a little bit. You know, it's not completely out of this world. It's almost like it's the same world. You know, this could have also sped up the movie a little bit and gotten to the villain faster with maybe a better explanation instead of this, he has to die with the crown on to gather its power. Maybe he just puts the crown on instead of this convoluted mess of Black Adam having to race to the kid after Dr. Fate closes the portal, which they didn't even explain at all. Like, first, why didn't he do it from the beginning? And two, they didn't even explain when he did it, you know? Like, it just showed the dude pressing the button and the portal closing. No explanation. You just have to assume it was Dr. Fate, and Dr. Fate just let it was just stupid, you know. It made no sense. And you know, little things like that just showed me the writing wasn't superb. But the post-credit scene, which I was waiting for, was totally worth it. It's sad though, I have no idea where they're going with this Superman v Black Adam v Shazam arc. You know, we have Shazam coming out with a movie next year based around two old witches, and then Man of Steel 2 is on the way with Black Adam 2 also assumingly coming on the way as well. It all just seemed rushed. You know, it seemed like they rushed everything. They wanted to make a Shazam 2 before Black Adam was probably done filming, and now this is what we got, like a rushed timeline. You know, maybe we'll have a post-credit scene of Black Adam and Shazam 2. I'm assuming that's where they're going with this. You know, but it could have been an entire movie of Black Adam versus Shazam and his friends. That would have been much better than these two old witch bitches, you know. But, you know, maybe leading up to Man of Steel 2 is when they're going to feature all three. I don't know. Hopefully they pull this off. If Henry is back, something must have been discussed behind closed doors that we don't know about. So, I mean, let's just hope that they figure everything out, because this is a huge movie. If you have Shazam versus Black Adam versus Superman all in one movie, would be incredible. So yeah, hopefully everything works out. Anyway, I'm giving this movie a 7.5 out of 10. Comment below what you guys thought of Black Adam. Was it worth it? Was it not? Are you disappointed? Let me know. Anyway guys, that's today's show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to to join the wolf pack. Peace.